Welcome to Dollar Side Hustle, your go-to podcast for all things side hustle.
And today we're diving deep into how to turn your pickup truck.
Ooh, into a money-making machine.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're just starting out.
It seems like everyone has a pickup truck these days.
Right.
Like I read somewhere that 5 out of every 10 cars sold last year were pickups.
It's true. They're so popular, but they're not cheap.
No.
You're looking at an average of over $60,000 these days.
Wow.
Between the truck itself, gas insurance, and upkeep.
It makes sense to want to put that truck to work then.
Oh, absolutely.
Buff it pay for itself.
Yeah.
And maybe even earn some extra cash along the way.
Exactly. That's what we're diving into today, practical ways to use your pickup for profit, even if you're a complete beginner.
I love it. Okay, so let's start with something that kind of blew my mind when I first heard about it.
Okay.
Mattress and furniture returns.
This is a side hustle that a lot of people don't even know exists. You see, when someone buys a mattress online, they often get a trial period, like 100 nights.
Right.
What's fascinating is that around 7% of those mattresses get returned.
7%? That seems like a lot.
It is.
I mean, you'd think people would know if they like a mattress after a few nights.
You'd think so, but there are a lot of reasons for returns. Maybe it's not the right firmness, or their sleep habits change, or sometimes people just change their minds.
Okay, so what happens to all those returned mattresses?
Well, it's often not worth it for companies to ship them back to a warehouse.
Oh, I see.
It's just not cost effective. So they end up needing a way to get rid of them. And that's where you come in with your pickup.
Great, so I can make money off of other people's returned mattresses.
Yeah.
How?
There are companies that specialize in what's called reverse logistics, basically managing the flow of returned goods. They partner with retailers to pick up these items and resell them. You can sign up to be a local rep for one of these companies. They'll notify you when there's a mattress or furniture pickup in your area.
So I'd use my truck to pick up the item and then resell it myself.
Exactly. You can sell it online at a flea market, or even set up a little side business reselling these items. The best part is you don't have to pay for the inventory up front. You only pay the company their cut once you've made a sale.
That's a pretty low-risk way to start. What kind of money are we talking about here?
Well, some folks doing this full-time are making upwards of $4,000 a month. Even if you just do it part-time, you could easily earn an extra $150 to $250 per item.
Wow, that's not bad at all for driving around in my truck.
Huh.
Now, I'm guessing there are some things to consider before jumping into this, right? Like, what if I live in a small town? Would there even be enough pickups and customers?
That's a great question. You definitely want to research if those reverse logistics companies operate in your area, and if there's enough demand for used mattresses and furniture. Where you live is going to play a big role in whether this side hustle is a good fit. You'll also need some space to store the items until they sell.
Okay, so location and storage space are key factors to consider. Makes sense. But overall, this seems like a pretty cool and under-the-radar way to make some extra cash with a pickup.
It definitely is. Now, if you're looking for something a bit more active, let's talk about moving services.
Okay, this is a classic, right? People are always moving and they always need help hauling stuff.
Exactly. But these days, it's not just about helping your buddy move his couch. You can actually turn your truck and your muscles into a legitimate side hustle income with moving services.
So how does that work? Do I just drive around looking for people struggling to move boxes?
Not quite. There are actually platforms that connect people who need moving help with drivers who have trucks and strong backs.
That's handy. So instead of relying on word of mouth, I can use these platforms to find customers.
Exactly. And it takes the guesswork out of finding jobs and setting prices. One popular platform is called Dolly. With Dolly, you can make up to $40 an hour.
$40 an hour? That's not bad at all for hauling furniture.
Uh-huh.
Plus, I bet you get tips on top of that.
You bet. And you get to choose which jobs you take and set your own schedule, so it's really flexible.
I like the sound of that. Are there other platforms like this?
There are. Another one is Bellhop. Similar idea, but the pay is a bit lower, around $21 an hour.
Still not bad if you're just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any requirements to sign up for these platforms?
Usually they'll ask for basic information like your age and location and require that you can lift a certain amount of weight. After all, moving furniture is a physical job.
Makes sense. So if I'm not afraid of a little heavy lifting and want to choose my own hours, this could be a great way to make money with my truck.
Absolutely. And you get to help people out in the process, which is always a good feeling. Now, if you're looking for something that's a little less about muscle and more about miles, let's talk about delivery services.
Okay, delivery services. That seems like a natural fit for a pickup truck.
It is. And we're not just talking about delivering pizzas here. We're talking about a whole range of possibilities, from everyday parcels to pets, even heavy equipment.
Wow, so there's a lot of variety in the types of deliveries I could do.
Exactly. And with that variety comes different earning potential. One platform that's known for its high earning potential is Citizenshipper. Drivers on Citizenshipper report earning on average between $6,000 and $10,000 per month.
Whoa, hold on, $10,000 a month?
Yeah.
That's a lot of deliveries.
It is. But keep in mind that's an average, and it depends on a lot of factors like how often you drive, the types of deliveries you take on, and your location. But it definitely shows the potential.
I'm definitely intrigued. So with Citizenshipper, I get to choose what I deliver.
Exactly. That's one of the things that sets them apart. If you love animals, you can specialize in pet transportation. If you're more into hauling, you can focus on larger items. You get to decide what works best for you.
That's awesome. I like the flexibility. What other platforms are out there for delivery services?
Another popular one is UShip. They're like the big online marketplace for all sorts of shipping needs.
Hmm.
We actually used them for our move from California to Washington. Remember how U-Haul completely let us down?
Oh yeah, that was a nightmare.
It was.
So UShip saved the day?
They connect you with people who need things shipped, and you can bid on jobs. You can even list yourself and your truck to advertise your services.
So it's like a bidding war for delivery gigs.
Yeah.
I like the competitive aspect of that. What other platforms are there?
Well, there's Roadie. They have a unique approach to deliveries. It's kind of like a hitchhiking service for goods.
Wait, hitchhiking for goods? I've never heard of that. How does it work?
Basically, if you're already driving somewhere, you can use the Roadie app to see if there are any deliveries along your route.
Yeah.
You pick up the item and drop it off at the destination. It's like making money while you're already on the road.
That's a really clever concept. So I wouldn't even necessarily need my truck for that one.
You could use your car, but having a truck definitely opens up more possibilities for larger items. And you can set your own schedule and choose the gigs that fit your route and availability.
I love that. Okay, so we've got Citizenship, UShip, and Roadie, all very different approaches to delivery services. Any others?
One more to add, Bungee. They're a same-day delivery service that pays up to $45 an hour.
Same-day delivery. Those guys are always in high demand.
They are, and Bungee gives you a lot of control. You can set your own hours, choose to work full-time or part-time, and even build your own delivery route.
That's awesome. Lots of flexibility there.
Yeah.
Are there any requirements for Bungee drivers?
They generally require that your truck is a certain age or newer just to ensure it's reliable, and they may have some weightlifting requirements depending on the types of deliveries they handle.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've covered some great options for turning your pickup truck into a delivery machine, from high-earning platforms like Citizenship to flexible options like Roadie and Bungee. Now, what if I want to make money with my truck without actually having to, drive it?
That's where renting comes in. You can turn your truck into a passive income stream by renting it out when you're not using it.
Renting out my truck. That's interesting. I never really thought about it before.
It's a great way to offset the cost of owning a truck, especially if you don't use it every day. And there are several platforms that make the process easy and safe. One of the most popular is Turo.
Okay, I've heard of Turo. Isn't that like Airbnb but for cars?
Exactly. People use Turo to rent out their cars when they're not using them, and you can do the same with your truck. When I was browsing Turo the other day, I saw full-size pickups listed for $140 per day.
Wow, that's not bad at all. If I rented out my truck even just a few days a month, that could add up quickly.
It could, and Turo provides liability insurance, so you're protected in case anything happens. It gives you peace of mind.
That's great. So with Turo, I list my truck, set my price, and then wait for someone to rent it.
Pretty much they handle the booking and payment processing, making it super convenient.
Sounds easy enough. What other platforms are there for renting out my truck?
That's a great question. Are there any that are, I don't know, less well-known, but still worth checking out?
Definitely there's Getaround. It's another popular car-sharing platform with a huge user base. What's cool about Getaround is that they make it really easy for side hustlers. They have features like automated pricing so you can maximize your earnings and keyless entry, so you don't have to worry about meeting up with renters to exchange keys.
Keyless entry sounds amazing. That would save so much time and hassle.
It does. They also have premium parking spots available, so your truck is safe and secure when it's not being rented.
Okay, Get Around sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Are there any platforms that are more focused on using my truck for work purposes?
There is. There's GoShare. There's specifically for renting out trucks, for moving and delivery services. But the difference here is that you're also the driver.
Oh, interesting. So it's like a combination of renting out my truck and offering my driving services.
Exactly. It's a great option if you're comfortable with driving and want to be more involved in the process. Plus, they say you can earn between $52 and $68 per hour. $52 to $68 an hour. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
So to sum it up, if I want to rent out my truck for passive income, I've got options like Turo and Getaround. If I'm willing to be the driver, GoShare is a great choice.
Mhm.
So many possibilities.
There are, and those are just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
But before we dive into even more ideas, let's take a quick break.
Tired of the 9 to 5 grind? Check out this new $1,000 per day done for you website that generates automated income straight from your phone. It's simple to set up, takes just 15 minutes, and runs 24/7, earning for you while you relax. No experience needed, and it's available worldwide. Ready to start? Visit dollarsidehustle.com/cellphone income today.
Okay, so renting out my truck is a pretty passive way to generate some income. Now let's talk about some side hustles that require me to actually get behind the wheel.
If you're someone who enjoys being on the move, there are some great options for you that combine driving with earning potential.
Perfect, let's hear it.
Have you ever thought about turning your truck into a mobile billboard?
You mean like those trucks you see driving around with giant ads plastered on them?
Exactly.
Okay.
You can actually get paid to advertise on your truck. It's not a huge moneymaker, but it's definitely one of the easiest ways to earn passively.
So I literally just drive around as I normally would and get paid for it.
Mhm.
How much can you actually earn doing that?
It depends on the company and their requirements, but you could potentially earn up to $100 or more each month.
$100 a month just for driving around with an ad. Not bad. What kind of requirements are we talking about?
They vary, but they might include having a truck of a certain age or newer, a specific paint job, and a minimum number of miles you need to drive each day. Some companies might also have restrictions on where you can and can't drive with the ad.
Okay, so there are some stipulations, but it's still a pretty low effort way to earn some extra cash. What other options are there for drivers?
Well, this next idea is perfect for those who love the outdoors and helping people declutter. Junk hauling.
Junk hauling.
Yeah.
So basically like a mini 1-800-JOT junker.
Exactly. People are always looking for someone to help them get rid of unwanted stuff, and they're willing to pay good money for it.
That's true. I've definitely paid for junk removal services before. Is it hard to get started with junk hauling?
Not really. The main thing you need is a decent-sized truck, which you already have.
Yeah.
You'll also need to figure out pricing usually. You charge per load or by the size of the items. Then you just need to market your services and start hauling.
Marketing sounds like the trickiest part. Where do you suggest finding customers?
You can start by spreading the word to friends and family, posting on local community boards, or even creating a simple website or social media page for your business.
Okay, so getting the word out is key. What about actually hauling the junk away? Where do I take it?
You'll need to research local landfills or recycling centers. Some items might be reusable, so you could also consider donating them or selling them at a discounted price. It's all about being resourceful.
Great points. So if I'm not afraid of little hard work and don't mind getting my hands dirty, junk hauling could be a good fit. What kind of money can someone make doing this?
It really depends on how much you hustle, but you can easily earn $200 per load or more.
$200 a load.
Yeah.
That adds up quickly. Now, for those of us who live in areas with snowy winters, there's another classic pickup truck side hustle, snow plowing.
Ah, yes. The Winter Warrior side hustle. Snow plowing can be a very profitable gig, especially if you're willing to brave the cold and get out there early after a big snowfall.
I remember as a kid watching the snowplows go by and thinking, those guys must be making bank. What do I need to get started with snow plowing?
Well, besides a strong work ethic and a tolerance for cold weather, you'll need a few things. Winter tires are essential for navigating slippery roads. Auxiliary headlights will help you see in low light conditions. And of course, a snowplow that's compatible with your truck.
So there's an upfront investment for the plow and equipment, but if you live in an area that gets a lot of snow, it could pay off big time during those winter months.
Absolutely. And you get to set your own rates, which can range from $20 per driveway or parking lot, depending on the size and how much snow needs to be cleared.
$20 to $100 per job. If you hustle and get a lot of clients, you could really rake it in during a snowy winter. Now, speaking of hauling and towing, let's talk about a service that utilizes your truck's towing capacity. Towing services.
Towing is a great option for leveraging your truck's power. It's a service that's always in demand and can be quite lucrative, especially during peak travel seasons or in areas with a lot of car trouble.
What kind of things would I be towing? Cars that have broken down.
Cars are a big part of it, but you could also tow RVs, campers, boats, and other vehicles that are having mechanical trouble or need to be transported.
Do I need a special kind of truck for towing those larger vehicles?
Most modern pickup trucks can tow up to 13,000 pounds, which is quite a lot. You'll want to check your truck's towing capacity to make sure you're equipped for the types of vehicles you plan to tow.
13,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. So if I have a relatively new pickup truck, I could probably handle most towing jobs.
You likely could. But before you start offering your towing services, you'll need to make sure you have the proper licensing and insurance. Safety is paramount when it comes to towing, so you'll need to be knowledgeable and prepared.
Okay, towing service is another great option to add to the list. Now, for those who are feeling really ambitious, there's another level of pickup truck entrepreneurship, starting a trucking company.
This one is definitely for those who are looking to scale up and build a full-fledged business. But you don't necessarily need to start with a brand new semi-truck. You can find used trucks for a reasonable price.
Okay, that makes it a bit more accessible, so I could potentially buy a used semi-truck, get the necessary licenses and permits, and start hauling goods for clients.
Exactly. One person I know who owns a trucking company said that a used Freightliner might cost around $40,000, but he can earn up to $1,000 a week in delivery fees.
$1,000 a week? That's a pretty good return on investment.
Yeah.
But running a trucking company is a lot of work, right?
It is. You'll need to find clients, manage drivers, handle all the logistics and paperwork, and stay on top of regulations. It's a demanding business, but if you're up for the challenge, it can be very rewarding.
So, trucking company, definitely something to consider if I'm ready to take my pickup truck side hustle to the next level. Now, for something a little more unique, have you heard of pallet flipping?
Pallet flipping is an interesting one. It involves buying pallets of returned merchandise from liquidators and then reselling the individual items for a profit.
Pallet flipping, is that like flipping houses but with pallets?
Not quite. It's more about finding hidden gems and deals within those pallets. You're essentially buying in bulk and then reselling for a markup.
So where do you find these pallets of returned merchandise?
Liquidators buy them from big retailers like Amazon, Target, and Walmart. These pallets often contain items that are perfectly good but were returned. For some reason, maybe the packaging was damaged or maybe the customer just changed their mind.
So I could potentially buy a pallet of, say, returned electronics or kitchen appliances and then resell those items individually.
Exactly. You can often get those items for pennies on the dollar and then resell them online at flea markets or even through your own online store.
Wow, that sounds like a great way to make a profit. Is it a lot of work?
It can be. You'll need to find a reliable liquidator, sort through the pallets to find the good stuff, and then figure out the best way to sell each item. It's not a passive income stream, but it can be very rewarding if you have an eye for deals and enjoy the thrill of the hunt.
Okay, so pallet flipping is something to consider if I'm willing to put in the work and have a knack for reselling. Now, this next idea might seem a bit strange, but it can actually be quite lucrative. Reselling the pallets themselves.
You'd be surprised how many businesses need pallets to ship and store their goods. And used pallets are often cheaper than buying new ones, so there's a real demand there.
Wait, you can resell the pallets? Who would want to buy used pallets?
Believe it or not, there's a big market for them. Businesses that ship products, warehouses, construction companies, and even some individuals use pallets for various purposes. You can find pallets for free or cheap from businesses that are just looking to get rid of them. Then you can clean them up, repair them if needed, and resell them for a profit.
So I basically act as a middleman between businesses that have excess pallets and those that need them. That sounds pretty straightforward.
It is. You find the pallets, negotiate a price, and then deliver them to the buyer. Your truck will come in handy for transporting those bulky pallets.
Makes sense. Is it profitable?
It can be very profitable. One person I know who does this report earning $1,000 a day. Of course, that depends on the volume of pallets you're moving and the prices you can negotiate, but it definitely shows the potential.
$1,000 a day. That's amazing. So if I'm looking for a high-earning side hustle, pallet reselling is definitely worth exploring. It's all about finding those under-the-radar opportunities.
Exactly. Now let's move on to another side hustle that can generate some serious cash. Flipping appliances and other large items.
Flipping appliances. So is that like those guys on TV who buy storage units and find hidden treasures?
It's a similar concept, but you don't have to limit yourself to storage units.
Yeah.
You can find undervalued appliances and other large items at thrift stores, garage sales, online marketplaces, and even through word of mouth.
Okay, so I find a used washing machine or refrigerator for cheap, clean it up, maybe make some minor repairs, and then resell it for a profit.
Exactly. And your pickup truck is essential for transporting those large items. You can also offer pickup and delivery services, which adds value and convenience for your customers.
Makes sense. Is it hard to find good deals on appliances?
It takes some practice and a good eye for value, but once you get the hang of it, you can find some amazing deals. One couple I know who does this earns thousands of dollars a month.
Thousands of dollars a month. That's inspiring.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a future as an appliance flipper.
You never know. It's a great way to use your skills and your truck to earn extra income and potentially even build a successful business.
So many possibilities. But before we get too carried away with all these great side hustle ideas, let's take a quick break to recharge.
Want to start a side hustle but feeling stuck on the tech part? You're not alone. Many first-time website owners feel the same. That's where Bluehost comes in. As the top-rated web host, they make things super simple with an easy setup, plenty of features, and budget-friendly plans to help you launch your website fast. Plus, their 24/7 expert support has your back anytime you need help. Head to $sidehustle.com/Bluehost now and grab a whopping 88% discount.
We've explored a ton of ways you can turn your pickup truck into a side hustle money-making machine.
That's right, from hauling junk to flipping appliances.
Yeah?
We've covered a lot of ground.
And speaking of covering ground, I'm curious, how do you find customers for all these amazing side hustles, especially if you're just starting out?
That's a great question, and it's a crucial part of any successful side hustle. Thankfully, there are tons of resources available to help you connect with potential customers, and a lot of them are free or very low cost.
Okay, so let's dive into some of the best ways to find customers for a pickup truck side hustle.
One of the most effective and affordable ways is to leverage the power of online platforms. And a great place to start is good old Craigslist.
Craigslist. That takes me back.
Yeah.
I used to use it all the time to find apartments and sell furniture. I didn't realize it was still so popular.
It's still a go-to for a lot of people, especially when they're looking for local services. You can create a listing describing your services, the areas you serve your rates, and any special promotions you might be running.
So it's like creating a mini advertisement for my side hustle.
Exactly. And it's free to use, so you really have nothing to lose. Just make sure your listing is clear, concise, and catches people's attention.
Got it. What other online platforms are out there?
Another one that's great for connecting with people in your local community is Nextdoor. You might already be familiar with Nextdoor for keeping up with neighborhood news and events, but it's also a fantastic resource for finding customers.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
People are always asking for recommendations on Nextdoor, from plumbers to dog walkers to everything in between.
Exactly. You can join your local Nextdoor groups and start engaging with your neighbors. Keep an eye out for people asking for the types of services you offer. You can also create a business page on Nextdoor to showcase your services, post photos and videos, and even run special offers.
So I could post something like, hey, neighbors need help hauling some junk to the dump. My truck and I are here to help.
Exactly. It's all about being personable and letting people know you're there to serve their needs. People love supporting local businesses, especially when they're recommended by their neighbors.
Okay, Nextdoor, another great option to add to my marketing toolkit.
Okay.
What if I'm offering services that are a bit more specialized, like photography, pet grooming, or home repairs? Are there platforms that cater to those niches?
Absolutely. If you're looking to connect with customers for more specialized services, Thumbtack is definitely worth checking out.
I've heard of Thumbtack. Is that where you can get quotes from different professionals for various projects?
That's one way to use it. But it's also a great platform for professionals to find clients. You create a profile highlighting your skills, experience, pricing, and service area, and then Thumbtack matches you with potential customers who are looking for those specific services.
So it's like a matchmaking service for professionals and clients. I like that. It sounds very efficient.
It is, and it takes the guesswork out of finding people who need what you offer. Plus, Thumbtack has a built-in review system so you can build your reputation and credibility over time.
That's important. People are more likely to hire someone with positive reviews. Okay, Thumbtack added to the list. Are there any platforms that are specifically geared towards creative professionals?
If you're offering creative services like photography, videography design, or illustration, Behance is a platform you should definitely explore.
Behance, that's one where you can create a beautiful online portfolio, right? I've seen some amazing work on there.
It's a fantastic platform for showcasing your creative skills and attracting potential clients. Think of it as a virtual gallery for your best work. You can customize your portfolio to highlight your unique style and the services you offer.
And because it's a platform specifically for creatives, the people browsing Behance are more likely to be looking for the types of services I offer.
Exactly. It's a great way to connect with potential clients who appreciate creativity and quality. Plus, Behance is also a great networking tool. You can connect with other creatives, collaborate on projects, and find inspiration for your own work.
Okay, Behance, that's a must-have for any creative entrepreneur. Now, what about LinkedIn? I know it's known for professional networking, but can I use it to find clients for my side hustle too?
LinkedIn is definitely worth considering, especially if you're offering professional services like tutoring, coaching, consulting, or anything that requires specialized knowledge or skills.
So I can create a LinkedIn profile that not only showcases my professional experience, but also highlights the services I offer through my side hustle.
Exactly. You can treat your LinkedIn profile as a mini website for your side hustle, showcasing your expertise testimonials from satisfied clients and even examples of your work.
And because LinkedIn is a professional networking platform, it adds a level of credibility and trust. People might be more inclined to hire me if they see that I'm active on LinkedIn and have a professional network.
Absolutely. It's all about building your personal brand and presenting yourself as a trustworthy and competent professional.
Okay, LinkedIn, that's a great tip. So we've covered a lot of online platforms today, but what about good old-fashioned word-of-mouth marketing? Is that still effective?
Word of mouth marketing is absolutely still one of the most powerful ways to find customers. It's all about leveraging your personal and professional networks and letting people know about your side hustle.
So I should tell my friends, family, neighbors, former colleagues, anyone who might be interested in the services I offer.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for referrals. If you do a great job for someone, they're more likely to recommend you to their friends and family.
That's a great point. It's all about building relationships and providing exceptional service. So to sum it up, whether I'm using online platforms, tapping into my network, or getting creative with local marketing, there are tons of ways to find customers for my pickup truck side hustle.
And remember, the key is to be consistent and persistent. Don't be afraid to try different approaches and see what works best for you. Building a successful side hustle takes time and effort, but the rewards can be well worth it.
Well, listeners, we've reached the end of our deep dive into pickup truck side hustles. We hope you found this episode inspiring and informative.
We've covered so many amazing ways to turn your truck into a money-making machine. From hauling and delivery to specialized services and creative ventures, the possibilities are endless.
And remember, you don't need a fancy degree or a ton of capital to start a successful side hustle. All you need is a pickup truck, a willingness to work hard, and a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit.
Now, before we sign off, we want to remind you to like and subscribe to our channel for more side hustle inspiration and tips. And be sure to check out the links in the show notes for some great resources on starting and growing your own business. They're affiliate links, which means we earn a small commission if you make a purchase. Those commissions help support our channel and allow us to keep creating valuable content for you.
We also love hearing from our listeners. So drop us a comment below and let us know which pickup truck side hustle idea you're most excited to try. Have you already started a side hustle with your truck? Share your experiences and any tips you might have for fellow entrepreneurs.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of pickup truck side hustles. We'll see you next time for more dollar side hustle adventures.